I want to talk about back and biceps. It's actually been a while since I've had the opportunity to film something, so I want to kind of continue my series of workout of the week. Mind you, it'll be probably a month now. We'll ignore that. Either way, I want to focus on the back and the biceps area and show you some of my favorite exercises to do, just to give you variety, and also maybe show you how to use some machines a little differently than you would have probably done before. So let's go ahead and let's get started. Okay, so the first exercise we're gonna do is for our back, and I'm gonna do kind of a different version of a back fly. And I love using the cables for back fly. You're doing a lot of control, and you're able to move the way your body is meant to move. So I'll show you how to do that. Now you can choose, so I've got the cable set up here. You notice two different heights. The realistic idea is when you're doing these, you wanna set the height slightly above your shoulder height. So if I bring it for me, there. So if I'm standing next to this, slightly above, good height. So keep that in mind when you're setting it up. So I've also got the grips here as well. You can choose to take the grips off and just grab like so, or do grips. I will show you how to do these with grips, and then you can choose according. So what you're gonna do with this one is I'm gonna face this way. You wanna face towards the universal. Okay, so when you go to grab the grips here, stand a little ways away, and I'm gonna grab this here, and I'm gonna cross my arm and grab the opposite. So you wanna walk a little ways away so you can feel the pull and stretch. You wanna lift your arms up so you're about shoulder height, and then from here, you're gonna pull and put your elbows back, keep those arms up, pull your shoulder blades together, and then release, feel them pull apart. So again, you're gonna pull these together, and then you're gonna pull apart. You're gonna get an awesome movement there with those shoulder blades, then you return. Now, if you wanna go a step further, I've got my weight too heavy for this, but if you wanted to, you could add a tricep. I'm gonna lighten up, because as soon as you put tricep into this, it's gonna get trickier. But if you wanted to add some tricep to this, you absolutely could. You're gonna grab these, do the same movement, except when I come out, you flip. So now you can get a tricep extension added to that. We'll bring it back. So pull through and flip. You could try that as well. So, but if you just want to focusing just on the back area, just keep it as a cross. Right there is important for back posture. You're gonna get a nice form between the shoulder blades. Try this one out, it's amazing. Okay, while I'm here at the universal cable machine, I want to actually change over to the bicep option. So what you could do with this one is I'm going to take I'm grab one of these cables, bring it down to the ground, lock it in there, and then I'm going to do a lower bicep curl with sort of a scoop or inner rotation. Now this is quite a bit heavier, so we're going to have to lighten it up depending on how you feel. So I'm going to show you for demonstration. I'm not going to go ultimately heavy, because if I go too heavy, my form will tweak a little bit. So just remember this, anytime you're using any of these exercises, watch your weight, clean form. If your form goes out the window, you're going too heavy. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna grab this weight, I've got the pin down to the bottom. You're gonna stand somewhat parallel to the pin, even slightly behind it. Because from here, I'm gonna take a nice stretch arm. My palm is facing the direction I wanna go, and I'm gonna scoop under and curl. So what's great about this, you're going from a full stretch of that bicep muscle and bringing it in. Okay, so what's great about the bicep as well is you got a short head and long head of that muscle. By internally rotating it, we can kind of focus on one part of that tissue more than the other. And it looks cool too. When you scoop it in, you get a really nice bicep squeeze, and then you can release it. Do this with control. Do not start swinging and turning. You're losing it. Stay beside it, let it go straight, curl it in. If you find yourself doing minis like this, it's too heavy. Get the stretch of the muscle, curl right up. Let's try those. Okay, so let's go ahead and try the seated cable row. So this one can be done a bazillion different ways, but there's really one very good right way. And there's a lot of different grips you can use. So we've got the little bar here. So this is good when you go to pull if you want to keep a nice controlled movement. However, the downside, personally, not my favorite for this move, because when you pull it in, you're not able to really bring your shoulder blades together and get that nice pull that we need. Not my favorite for this one, but some people like it. So another option you can use is these. Now you can use 2 or 1. So obviously if I was doing 1 cable, good news about using these pulleys or cables is you can grab the pulley, and I'll show you here. Then when you go to row, you can go ahead and do that full, I'll show you, give me a demo. You can pull and get a nice action in that shoulder blade. And so you've got that pulley, or that would be single, you sit and do single, or you can go with 2. I love using these. They're gonna give you the variety that you need and a full pulling action. But somewhere in between is this bar. You can still get a nice pull, and because it's wider, of course, depending on how broad you are, it's wide enough you can still get a nice muscle action there. So let's go ahead, I'm gonna demonstrate the right way to do a seated cable row. So here to help me demonstrate the seated cable row is my hubby. So let's do this. We're gonna try this out today. Okay, so here he is. So we're gonna set it up and he's gonna show you the proper form. Now, first of all, before you start anything, I want you to look at the legs. There is a slight bend in the knees just to move them out of the way. What a lot of people do is they'll lock the knees and straighten them right out. That is not awesome for the legs. Please do not do that. The other thing too is by keeping a soft bend in the knees, it'll help your form with the core. Now typically when you do this, you can have a variety of ranges in your upper body. You could lean back a little bit, just like that. But generally you want to have a slight lean in this exercise. Now remember, when we're doing a seated row, this is not about moving the entire body. You want to pull, control, and release. So your focus in this exercise is to feel the shoulder blades come together and then pull apart. Come together and pull apart. And then one thing that you'll often see a lot of people do, and he's got a little bit this going on, is you'll see the shoulders lift up. Yep, just like that. We don't want to do that. You want to keep them low. Relax and pull through the bottom or the mid part of your, like that. You want to feel that pull through. That's really, really important as well. I mean, there's a lot of muscles working, but sometimes what we'll see is when people are rowing is they'll make it a total body thing. And they'll actually be doing, and when we start rowing and pulling like this, we're getting some lower back help too. Not that it's wrong, but if you're pulling a heavy enough weight that you have to do that, you're gonna leave yourself liable to injury. It's looking good. There's perfect form. Thank you. All right, so let's do a basic dumbbell bicep curl. We've all done them before, but over and over and over again, I see them done wrong. Should be very, very simple. Let's go over this, and I'll show you a slight version of it as well. So if we're doing a basic bicep curl, I always tell people, watch your form. Just because you're doing a bicep curl doesn't mean you can't work other muscles. So typically seen, somebody stand there, their knees go straight, I'm showing the wrong version, and then their belly's sort of like doing this thing, and they're here, and then you see this going on, and they're like just throwing those weights. We're not using the biceps anymore. By the time we're curling and moving all our body parts, we're not using the bicep. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna soften your knees, core is tight, shoulders are rolled back, pull them up, and you're gonna go bicep curl, and then you're gonna release. Of course, I'm not going super heavy. I'm trying to keep my form nice and clean, but the deal is this. If you start swinging and losing that clean form, you're going too heavy. That doesn't mean that I might choose a heavier weight. My first few are clean and then they start getting a little rough. That's okay, that's gonna happen. But if you're swinging from the very beginning, reduce your weight. So that's obviously your basic bicep curl. If you have any elbow issues, great way to eliminate that or at least still work the bicep is go into a hammer grip. This is simply exactly like you work a hammer. Curl these up and then come down, just like that. That's an option as well. And if you want to work forearms, you can turn your arms down and go like this. These are a lot harder. You've got less range of motion in that, and you're gonna find not a clean bicep curl. But as a side note, one thing that I was trying the other day with the bicep is to look at both an internal and external rotation, all parts of the bicep muscle. Great bicep exercise. Clients are loving it. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take a little bit of the cable concept where you curl in, and then you're gonna external rotate and curl out, and it looks like this. So here I go. I'm curling in, and then I'm gonna go rotate, curl out, rotate, and you can even turn it to a hammer if you want. Rotate, curl in, curl out. Same thing, keep control. And what I'm doing is I'm using my hip bone as sort of my pivot point and curl out. This is great. This is gonna help you get a nice bicep form. So try this next time you're doing bicep curls, but control it from your hip or pivot point. What you don't wanna do is start throwing it and swinging it because we're just, I don't know what's going on there. So try this one the next time you gotta do bicep curls. It's a great exercise. I hope you enjoyed my video today. Again, it was just a few select exercises to show you things that I'm noticing around the gym. So I thought I'd just take an opportunity, kind of show you some tweaks on those. And just a quick note about reps and sets. Remember, when you want strength, you're gonna keep your rep range around 6 to 8 reps. When you want muscle build or hypertrophy, you're gonna go 8 to 10 at the top. And when you want muscle endurance, and you're gonna get a lot of toning and cut, you wanna go above that. So 10, 12, up to 15 reps, not much higher at that point. So just a side note about your reps, keep an eye on that, and usually 3, 4, even 5 sets is perfect. So again, thanks for joining me today, and have a good day. Bye.